stream setup because I actually like made it home with 15 minutes this time. So I think I've actually calibrated all of my recordings so that there shouldn't even be any buzzing noise, which is good because I expect a lot more people to be coming over because I accidentally got internet famous again. Yeah, it's just very weird to see that, you know, sometimes like you're like, oh, I'm trending on Reddit, yes again. But this time it was r/fellow kids. And for not anything that I technically did, right? It was all sort of Jeopardy doing it. But, you know, that's how it goes. So I got a few new subscribers since last time. Pretty excited. I hope you enjoy watching some dumb content. But anyways, so we've got this much more better now. And like always, we'll just start off with a little bit of Shenzhen Solitaire. So yeah, things are going a lot better than last time I talked. Like I said, I had a lot more time to sort of just sit down and like actually configure my stream. And it's really amazing how much just a little bit more prep time makes you feel a lot better about the whole experience. But anyways, I'm just kind of putting stuff down randomly. We'll see how it goes. Like, I don't freaking know. There's a fa down there, so there's a fa here. Oh, this should be pretty good to do. And clean this up. Alright, let's see. So these two jongs here, but I don't. Oh, I might as well take this one down. Alright, and I can take this one over, and I got the 7. Oh, what to do? This old switcheroo. Pretty good board, actually, huh? Baiban is here, Baiban is there. So I'll switch this one over, and then it looks like I can move these over, and then we get those. Wow. Man, fate is smiling on us today. Yeah, it might have just been an easy board, but you know what? I don't complain. And I'll just move stuff until get out, and that's it's game. This is a good start. Dropping frames. Let's see. Let's see. So that's probably stream. I wonder if it works on the fly. Like, can I just do that? I wonder if it's better. I just dropped the bitrate a lot. Oh, yeah, this stream's in the yellow. I don't really know. Do I have to bug out? Because I always use the auto, whatchamacallit, the like automatic configuration thing. Well, I finally tweaked all the audio stuff, so I think that made me happier. But yeah, I just used the whatchamacallit, automatic configuration thing. Well, now it's more into green, so maybe the quality drops. Who knows? We'll find out. Yeah, but thanks, Linstra. I'll keep looking out for that. Yeah, so there was this concept spec thing, but I don't really want to do code, to be honest. It's like freaking Lua. Alright, I'll just check this out. Concept spec, and I'll make a new one. So let's see. So let's edit. And like, I'm pretty sure this creates like, yeah, custom puzzles in here. Let me just open it and let's see. Open with Sublime Text. Oh boy. Okay, let's try this out. So I'm going to add a window. Yeah, I'm using OBS to stream. Cool. That sounds great. I will add a window capture. Create new. I don't know how well this is gonna render. Yeah. Look at me, it's coding. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of resolution this is. The name of this puzzle, an array of strings where each string is a line of description for the puzzle. Oh, that's cool. You actually specify the board that you want for this. So... oh my god. The function getData is called both to establish information about the puzzle and to generate the random test cases. Oh my god. Oh my god, what is this nonsense? Fun fact! Arrays start at 1! Thanks, Lua. Oh my god. Wait, so how do we tell what data it is? Get data, generate the random test cases. This is just straight up coding. God, this is... Oh, boy. Well, if you can come up with some good freaking puzzle to do, maybe I'll come back to this custom spec, but as it stands now, I'm gonna go back to the game, because I don't... I mean, like, a freaking Jeopardy buzzer was suggested for, like, things that I could do, but, like, to be honest, I don't really want to do that. It's also not that interesting, right? Because it's just, like, input... It's also interesting because it's, like, a distributed thing. So, like, I guess you would be making not the buzzer itself, but you would be making the distributed thing, where it's that, Why am I specking this out? Like, you have, like, a reset button, or, like, a clear... You have a clear and a reset, and you just do it out like that. God. I could write the spec for it. I don't particularly want to. What are other cool things that we could make in spec? I mean, like, I don't know. It's, I like the LED stuff. Let's actually look at the sandbox a little bit, and, check out what we could do. So, the sandbox is here. Oh, radio. What was radio? Oh my god, it was this thing? Oh man, I remember this. I mean, like, I can't... I don't think I could do anything cool with the spec that involves sound. Because it's like... Well, I guess, like, we could split off this line and also put it out into an output. So that's a thought. That's a thought. What was Fidget Cube? Oh yeah, it was just like a... Oh my god, I forgot about this! Oh, it just stays there? Great. So what one is that? That one was... this thing. Oh, let's turn that off. Cool, so I think, like... Where are they going? Are they going? Oh, I think they just... Oh, these are just on. Okay. So yeah, so there's some lights. There's, frickin', this annoying buzzer. Yeah. What other... I think they say that more parts open up. Like, there's memory, mystery part. Okay. Buzzer, knobby thing for value. Oh yeah, these four color LED. That is pretty cool. Buzzer. Alright. I think I would be most interested in making some sort of like radio stream thing. But I guess that would like require knowing notes and stuff like that. I guess I could do Jeopardy buzzer. It's literally like coding the stream. That'd be funny. I mean, one of my friends actually is doing like, he's programming a puzzle game, extra tricky. And he's on Twitch Creative and he's just streaming that out, which is nice. But alright, so yeah, make a custom specification. I'll probably do it when it goes a little bit higher, because it just sort of bothers me to not have the check mark in there. Alright. Aquaponics maintenance robot, remote kill switch for autonomous systems, pocket I Ching oracle, which is a pretty good one, and precision food scale. Alright, let's just go in order. Aquaponics maintenance robot. Okay. Radio RX is a non-blocking X-bus input connected to a radio receiver. Okay. Motor is an output. Tool clean and tool feed. connected to unknown tools. The maintenance robot begins in station 0. Pulsing motor to 100 and back to 50. Oh, that's a kind of dumb little, like, PWM control, I guess. Pulsing motor to 0 and back to 50 will move it to the previous destination. Okay, so when a data packet's received over to radio, move to the destination station and activate the tools for the specified duration. Okay. So this is gonna get some packet. Where's that? Comments. Okay. So let's see. What is this? So we get station number, we get how long tool 1 on, how long tool 2 on. Okay. Oh, interesting, because it has to go over. Huh, okay. Okay. So if it's greater than, what is this? X0 is greater than 0, then we do this. Which is first move. Oh, right. We have to do the dumb thing. So we move X0 into accumulator. Accumulator. We test if the accumulator is greater than 0. And then moving out, what is it? Move accumulator out to X3. So what I want is to have this thing. No, it needs some normal pins. Yeah, so what I want is this thing to be like, okay, like set the motor values and then like communicate down here to these dudes, basically. Oh shoot, these need to be pins. So like this sort of dealio. Okay. Alright. So, moving the accumulator, and then otherwise we're just moving X0 to ACC, or to X3, move X0 to X3, and slip. Cool. Oh, X2 for these. B. Man, I still think it's weird just coming home and going back to this. Because every time I come home, I'm always like, oh, I'm so tired. I've like worked the entire day. I don't want to do this. But then I come back and like, you know, I start working on the problems and I get really excited again. Like, there's a old like picture going around, which is like this German guy and he's like on a forklift. And he's like, ah, yes, now that work is done, I can go home and relax. And then when he comes back home, it's all like forklift simulator, like train simulator, football manager, and he's just like, oh, I'm so happy. That's not an inaccurate description of me, I have to say. But I am really excited about this other stream that I'm planning to do. I think that it's gonna add a lot more variety. I think the reason that couch co-op, like 2 dudes on a couch, is like so overplayed is because it's a really easy format to emulate. I do feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole though by like already spending money on a nice camera, so we'll see. Worst case scenario, I guess I can just use the camera. I can set it up here and I can do it without having to rely on my little webcam, but you know, we'll see. Okay, so anyways, so we've moved here. So this is serving as a ferry, and I want this one to be like doing the logic. So I'm gonna say, okay, so move X3 into accumulator, or X0 into the accumulator, and then in here I want to do, what am I trying to do? Oh, that's a frame drop. Yeah, OBS has got this little nice thing. I don't really know how to get around it, but whatever. I dropped the bitrate to 3000 from 6000, so I don't know. Maybe it's just my internet is bad. So we moved the accumulator into here, and okay, we're gonna need to save what our current position is. Okay. Let's have this dude, maybe? I'm still thinking this out. Let's put one of these in here. Move X0 to accumulator. Let's get this dude going. Okay. What game? So I'm not streaming this Sunday, I think. Actually I might stream on this Sunday without my friend, just to sort of test the setup. But I don't know, I'm still up in the air. I'm not sure if streaming Cuphead is good or bad, because like there's a lot of hype around it. I mean, that's like why I'm thinking about it. I own Antechamber and I own Stanley Parable already. Worst case scenario, I just throw 20 bucks and get Cuphead. Yeah, I was hoping more people would respond, just so that I know what people are interested in, because that's going to be super flexible. Probably I'll stream Stanley Parable this Sunday. It's going to be just at a random time, pretty much. I'll announce it. Because for most of the day I'm doing a puzzle hunt, so I'm not going to be in until like after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, we'll see. Or it could just be literally me like derping around on the couch just trying to get the software working. But yeah, so I would guess like tentatively Cuphead or Stanley Parable, just because I own those. Or I own Stanley Parable and I own Antechamber, so. Yeah, okay. So, moving X0 into that. Oh yeah, my friend is also curious about trying Bendy and the ink machine. I looked at that. It just looked like a freaking Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. I don't really know what the hype is about. But like I said, she's into 1930s cartoons like a lot. So I don't know. We'll probably try that at some point. But like, not really into it. Not really into horror as well. I don't know why. She studies horror. Like, specifically, she's been working on this research project for the last couple of months, years, something like that, about Korean horror comics. Like, specifically the one of like the woman who like, you know, like turns around, and then when you try to scroll up, like they're all her. Yeah. Oh, Antechamber's short. Okay. Cool. Maybe I'll try that one then. Okay. Cool. I'll try Antechamber then. What was I even doing? I mean, Stanley Parable is also really short, which is, I know my friends played Stanley Parable before, which is another reason why I was thinking about that as well, but I guess you're here, so maybe it's probably Antechamber. Right, what was I doing? Tum to tum tum. Move X0 into that. So I want to use this as like a ferrying thing over. Moving accumulator to X3. So I was thinking about having this accumulator be like what the current station is. So if that is less than accumulator, that means I need to move 50 to X3, and then move, shoot, what was the spec? Move 50 to X3, and then, move up. Oh, I could do the T-compare. Yeah, that's how we do it. So, if that means if that is bigger than accumulator, then we need to move. Okay, 0 than 50 means it moves backwards. Right, so that's what we want to do. 50 to x3. If not, then we move 100 to x3. I guess we can simplify it by having like we always move 50 to x3. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. It's the Boston Area Puzzle Hunt League, or Baffle. It's like a whole day thing, and you like walk around the city and you do location stuff. Do you know puzzle hunts? Yeah, I don't know where you're based, but like, do you know about like MIT Mystery Hunt and stuff like that? Because yeah, it's definitely a big attraction among all my friends. But yeah, there's a baffle like every month or every 6 months. Yeah, so it's a pretty good quality hunt. I don't know, what puzzle hunts have you done? Let's see, so move 50 to x3, and that's basically... Oh, I need to pulse it. Oh, it's that gen command. Shoot. Yeah, what puzzle hunts do you do? Yeah. Gen port XY. Okay. Yeah, do you do like mums and sums and all them, or like Red Dot happened pretty recently. I was planning to do it but never got around to it. My friends had a good time with that hunt though. Let's see, gen port x3. Let's see, so move 50 to P1. Slicks until X0. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, man. How common is puzzle hunts? Because I only really know that, like, in terms of schools that run it, there was, like, Rochester Institute of Technology, MIT, and I know Berkeley does one. Like, the same sort of... They run one in the spring, and then they also rerun it in the summer. But yeah, I don't know, in like the States, like, puzzle hunts are really not that common. So, I think that's cool that you're writing it, yeah. Like maybe that's why there's so many freaking Australian hunts. Like, maybe that's just the thing they do over there. I don't know. I don't like the Australian hunts. God. Just because, like, I don't know, the domain knowledge for the Australian ones, like, are, like, very Australian. I'm still salty about this one puzzle. It was, Cicera. And, like, it was kind of cool. It was like a paint by numbers thing. Where, like, you extracted a color from a famous painting, and then, like, you put it into this new grid. But then the problem is that, like, the last step was identifying the painting you did, and it was, like, an extremely famous Australian painting. And so, like, we Americans just didn't know it, and it was just extremely frustrating to be, like, literally almost done with the puzzle. But that's how it goes, I guess. Sweden? Okay. That's cool you know about them, though. I really like puzzle hunts. Yeah. The only thing I know about Swedish universities is, one of my, video game studies professors, is from Sweden, and he showed us the clip of like everyone screaming in the dorm at like the specific time. But that's the only thing I know about Swedish universities. Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. So comparing, and then okay. So if I do this, I want to add one to ACC. Or I don't think this. Is there like a T-Cool? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm, like, there's this thing called game studies. Like, it's, like, the most common game studies programs are, like, there's one in MIT, there's Concordia University, which I think is in Canada, and, a lot of schools in, like, Scandinavia actually have game studies programs. Like, Denmark has one, like University of Copenhagen. Shoot, I know the professors, I don't know where they're located. But, yeah, so at MIT I do comparative media studies. And like, it's basically just a catch-all for all this new media, like games, internet culture. There's a class called Credit for Reddit. Yeah, like I write about this stuff analytically, and it's a lot of fun. So, I know that a lot of other programs have like, things where it's more about like designing games. So like you're trying to, program a game and like do what you want. It's much more for industry oriented. Oh yeah, let me write out their names in chat. So it's this guy and this guy are like super famous in the video game studies. Yeah. No, it's yeah. A lot of major video game research is actually done in Scandinavia. That's cool. Let's see. So if it's, do I want to do another T compare? Because if it's, well, if it's just not, then we want to jump. I'm gonna open up the manual and look at what T-compare actually does. It's this shortcut. Yeah, let's see. Oh man. I like having the multiple windows experience. It's like making my life really nice. Ah! Like, yeah, like I finally had time to just sit down and like actually like configure settings. I also know more about what I'm trying to do in streaming, so it's definitely a lot less rough than the first couple times. Okay, so if it's equal, then both plus and minus instructions are disabled. Otherwise, only one of them. Okay. So let's bring that back down. And let's get chat back up. No, I read online that if you have a regular time to stream, like, you get more viewership. So that's what I was going for. I'm a grad student, so like I have infinite time, which is not actually true. I have as much time as I want there to be. But yeah, I read online that if you keep a regular schedule, you get more viewers because it's like a freaking TV show. You know what I mean? Like people know when they can tune in and see what you're doing. So. Oh, I just realized that like maybe the links I posted about Jesper Jewel and there's a thing going on. Oh, I hope not. Like, man. Oh, that's funny. Are those common names? Now I'm actually kind of curious. Like Jesper Jewel versus like, are those common names? Because at least for like me as an American, this doesn't seem super common. Yeah, game researcher. This dude. Where's chat? Yeah, I have no idea if this is a common name. Now I'm kind of curious looking up. Search instead for just one U. Oh, I cannot read these. Huh. Huh, I don't... Yeah, this is... Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, no, this guy's... let me see. Yeah. It's really funny. I'm not sure, cause there's a freaking delay. I don't really know, like, if I post these. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. That's cute. Stream more than to stream with a consistent schedule. Yeah. Well, I'll add the Sunday time. I mean, it is sort of like a lot of work, I guess, on my aspect, because I'm just like, man, I have to be home. It's like I can't be as flexible if there's like stuff going on. But I'm happy. I'm happy with how it currently is. We'll see how the Sunday time goes. Yeah. Like my friend in Extra Tricky like streams 3 times a week and for like quite a bit of time, and I think that's quite a lot of commitment. Okay, so I guess like either way I want it to jump to the loop. Okay, this is like not super efficient, but otherwise I guess sleep 1, because that means we're good. Or I guess I could move a communication to this thing, like just have it be another x2. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of, man. So if you're like Papa Jewel, then you're like Father Christmas. It's kind of cute. All right. Move 50 to P1, then sleep, and then if it is, then move. Okay, so I don't need this thing anymore. Okay, so let's see. So it could be different values, it looks like. Okay. So I guess I'll move the first value to accumulator, move the second value to dat, slicks until x0. What do you mean it's not connected? Oh, move x1. Yeah, clearly. I mean, whatchamacallit, Extra Tricky, didn't, like, he streamed on his job for a while, but he also, oh, I should get rid of that glare. I just realized, didn't really help that much, whatever. Yeah, he didn't really like his job that much, but he was streaming on the side, and then he did actually, like, quit his job, and is now, I guess, doing full-time streaming, but, I think that's probably why he's doing the programming as well, just to, like, he's very good at math and computer science, so that's probably why he's doing it. Let's see. Sleep until x0, and then I can just move x0 to null. Is it null or nil? I don't really remember. Anyways, that just means that, I guess, so what was it? Gen P1 for x1, or for the accumulator amount of time, 1? Or maybe 0? Gen P 0, accumulator, or dat 0. I think that's good enough. Let's see. Yeah, rip. Okay. I don't know why I expected that it would work correctly on the first time. Okay. Okay, so I move this in. Move x0 to the accumulator. Oh, okay. So you can slick 0, and you can slick 1. And yeah, I think that's... Alright, stuck on something else. Alright, advance, okay. So 2... I was not paying attention. Let's see. Okay. Negative 999. Don't do anything. Clint Stevens. Huh. I'll write that down. I mean, like, it's really hard to make a decision of, like, just doing what you want. I think that's really interesting, because, like, for me, the conflict that I'm having is that, like, I just started robotics grad school. So, like, my majored in electrical engineering and computer science, and one thing that I'm realizing is that, like, more and more I wish I was spending more of my time doing comparative media studies work, you know, so, like, pretty straight humanities research, like, doing all of this analysis and stuff like that. But I had a friend who once told me that, like, you're so lucky that your interests coincide with the job market, and they were right, you know, like, I'm into computer science, I'm into robotics, and then, like, this comparative media studies thing is the first time where I felt like, you know, it's straight humanities, and, like, I really would love to pursue it, but at the same time, like, all of this, like, you know, job security and stuff like that, I also don't think I'm particularly good. Like, my friend is really good at literature, like, he won an award from the department and stuff like that, but even still, like, the other professors were like, I can't tell you in good conscience to pursue literature grad school because it's just such a crapshoot, and, like, you know, it's really hard to get anywhere for it. So, I don't know. I'm, like, trying to see how much comparative media studies stuff I can do on the side, but I don't really know. So, yeah, like, people who do, like, you know, like, literally, like, drop out of school full-time, that's crazy, and, like, streaming and doing all this stuff, like, more power to them. It's a really hard and, like, difficult thing to do, so. Man. I don't know, that, all of my roommates are, like, making fun of me for that. They're like, oh, you should totally just, like, become a Twitch streamer. Or, not Twitch streamer, you should, yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot! Roommates are giving me flack. Not Twitch streaming, that's like freaking become a CMS major, comparative media studies, grad school, but yeah. Oh, you do film studies? Wait, film studies is cool, man. I took some film studies classes, and my film studies prof was actually the reason why I started getting really into humanities, because she was just amazing. Oh, man. Yo, film and video games. There's a lot of cool stuff, man. Oh, man. Like, actually, like, we're talking about the whole discussion about Antechamber, you know? Like, I was taking a color and film class, so this is, like, pretty, like, deep critical theory stuff, and, like, I was, like, the prof was like, oh, you should totally do a video game and, like, do the same techniques for that, like, I'll allow it, and I was like, oh, man, and I stopped and think, and was like, there are no games that, like, do the same kind of weird, aesthetic, cool things that film does, in, like, the same way, just because I feel like it's a younger medium, and, like, they're a lot less open to exploration. Like looking at the aesthetics of this game, it's not particularly, the color choices aren't particularly, like, crazy, right? Like, oh, you've got the green, of, like, you know, freaking the wiring of, like, the PCB common mask and stuff like that, but, whatchamacallit? Like, I never feel, or even games that are, like, really pretty, like, say, Bastion or Transistor, like, the colors aren't doing anything weird or counterintuitive. You wouldn't get, like, the weird avant-garde stuff that you see in, like, for Derek Jarman's Blue, right? Like, a completely, monochrome thing, but... Anyways, I'll check out Antechamber. Like, that was one of the games that was recommended to me that breaks it. The other game that was recommended was Super Hot, which is definitely a game I want to go and play at some point. Engineer, it's like, if you want to build bridges, and Engineer's a protected title, you have to take, like, an exam. But, like, there's, like, freaking software engineers, and they just sit there and program. Oh, really? BioShock Infinite? So it's a different thing about color theory. I could check the notes, but it's really looking at, like, color as an aesthetic force. Oh, dude, I'd be interested in seeing that. You should link that in chat. I'll take a look at it afterwards. Yeah, I'm super interested. I love video essays. Like, I'm all about like every frame of painting and like, who are some other ones? Captain Christian, Mark Brown, Matthew Matosis, things like that. Yeah, I'd be totally down to see that video. Don't know much about BioShock Infinite though, except other than like, it's like US steampunk crows. Yeah, so that's about all I know. Alright, so moving X0 to accumulator, so then we move these things in. Okay, so I moved these things into places, and now I'm sleeping for that. So I don't know what I moved over there. Okay, so if it is jump to loop, and then oh, okay. I should just get rid of this, because I have this slicks in there, so. Oh, a daze, that's no good. Why is it even a... Okay. Oh. Oh, interesting. So I know that feel when you're like, oh, I'm not sure this should ever see the light of day ever again. Man, I should play to someone else. I accidentally got into a blog war with somebody who like turned out to be like mildly famous, at least in like some blogosphere thing. And it turned out I was replying to one of his really old posts. Machinarium. I think I've seen that. It's the little robot dude, isn't it? Let's Google this. Yeah, I think it's cute, but it's like it's not like friggin'. You watch some really avant-garde stuff, like okay, so for a less avant-garde example, let me try to find the link. So like, I really like this film. Let me link into it. Let me try to find a Wikipedia page for this. Yeah, here we go. But so this film's really interesting. Like I guess on like an aesthetic level, because it's like this weird mashup of like animation, live archival footage, and like documentary footage from like 2016, like all put into this one thing. So if you look at it as a film, then you can ask really interesting questions about like what does it mean for like history, to like have these things all sort of juxtaposed. What does it gain from being animated? And then the use of color is that like when someone gets shot, it suddenly turns them from this like rotoscoped animation, like black and white and gray, and it takes them into a completely red monochrome field with their silhouette in white, and you see the bullet like hit them. That's what I mean. Like I think Super Hot is doing some really interesting things in that way, right? Like it's like the whole idea of abstracting out of like putting you into a white frame, and then like with the red characters of like these are the people exactly that you have to hit, and like I haven't played Super Hot, so I don't know. This is only just from like the clips I've seen, but like just what was it? Like, you know, like it was a setup, you know, like completely removing it from any context of like why are you shooting these people? Like all you're doing is like cliched tropes. I think that's super interesting. And I would write about it. I would be curious to see how many of the same things apply between Tower, the film I linked, and Super Hot. Tower is also, like, unfortunately a pretty relevant film now because of, like, you know, Las Vegas was the largest mass shooting. And, like, I don't know. I after watching Tower and, like, seeing all the coverage about Las Vegas, I'm just kind of like, you know, gunmen on an elevated position, people really not knowing what was going on, just, like, the very that film is really good. I do recommend it. It's pretty hard to watch, and I think it's gonna be harder to watch, given Las Vegas. Yeah, it's some rough stuff. But yeah, so like I do like machinariums. Like it's a cute vibe, and like they keep on the same themes through everything. It's like a very well put together. But I guess like maybe that makes a little bit more sense. What kind of questions? It's like pretty, it's pretty goddamn theoretical. Well, I don't know, Doc, if you are in, if you're in like more of a production side or more of this analytical side. Like part of the thing I got into a blog war with this guy about was because eventually we found out he was coming from an art school approach of like, you know, there's like empirically good ways to draw things and bad ways to draw things. Whereas like for me, there's no good film or bad film. There's just like everything is interesting like from this like media studies perspective. If that kind of makes sense. It's like, I don't know. Like if we're talking about the people that like you make fun of, like, oh, like humanities is just like saying what you feel and like all that, like that's, you know, that would be, I guess, the attack for me. So anyways. See, like, I like this humanities stuff, but yeah, I am playing this video game about programming and wiring up things, which is also my day job, and I'm like, I don't really know what I'm... Whatever. Let's not challenge this a little too deeply. Okay. So, it strobes it, alright? Oh, it needs to sleep. It needs to sleep one here. I think that's what it does. I'll check it out. Okay. Man, getting some good recommendations on the stream today. I played the demo, I think. I think they had like a little flash demo online. Let's see, where is my chat window? There it is. I'll check it out. Like, yeah, again, you got up a good point of like, I'm just like talking about games I've never played. But anyways, yeah, I played the why is this stuck now? Oh, because it's on sleep one. Man. Oh, I see, because it goes straight from move X0 P1 to move 50 P1. So maybe I should just add a sleep one here. I'll check it out. Man, that's one thing I'm a little bit nervous about playing Cuphead, is that like... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I think I probably just have my directions wrong. Add, and also be sub. The Witness? That was actually one of the games I was thinking about streaming. Excuse me. Yeah, I was thinking about doing like another long-form streaming of that, probably after the, after I go through the Super Giant Games catalog. So after I finish Shenzhen IO, I'm planning to play, like, go through Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, and then I was thinking about doing The Witness, because I think it would be a good game just to, like, walk around and do things. I played about 5 minutes of it, and then I was like, oh man, this is a huge world, and I just kind of like walking around. It feels like it's a game that should be played with other people, you know, like, I want to just sit on that game, I want to, like, talk to other people and, like, discuss, like, how do you think you should go about this puzzle? Maybe that's defeating the point. Like, maybe the point of that game is to, like, experience loneliness and just, like, keep on going through that world. Which then, I guess, is, like, why are you going to stream this game? But, yeah, I did like the atmosphere of it, but, like, I really feel like I want to play that game with people. Some of my friends did, like, they put it on a TV and they worked through it, and I think I would like that a lot better. I don't know, yeah. Oh, this is... Okay. This is getting somewhere. Oh, same problem. Okay, so... Okay, so we compare it, move 50. I don't think adding these sleeps in everywhere is what I'm supposed to be doing, but we'll see. Oh, that's cute. Oh, crap! Grumble. That's really cute. I like this little robot doing like that's one thing that should be put in the spec. You know, you like fit your little. Anyways, okay. So I moved to 0, 4, and 1. Oh, freaking! It's greater than -1, you dumbo. Ah, freaking! Oh, I can remove this. Alright, so I get 0. Oh. Oh, wait, no, it's already there. Yeah, so that's right. Oh, what? Why is there this huge... I think the huge delay is because of these sleeps. Why? I didn't move anything. Right, so it doesn't do anything, so... I sleep until X0 comes out. Oh, maybe... That doesn't look right. Yeah, okay. I think these sleeps are doing other stuff. Oh, I went back too many. That's very true. That's pretty true. Theme and tone in the gameplay. Yeah. Like, this is one of the things that I got into a blog war with this other guy about, where like he saw storyline as like completely ancillary, like completely not necessary to actual gameplay, and he was like, if I were to make a game, it would have 0 story and it would just be like this mechanics. And it was a hard time like talking about like, no, like you've got like this ludology side, which is like studying games as a rules-based system, and narratology, which is, you know, studying it as like a more narrative form. And like you said, like a good game should combine both of these aspects, or good as games that combine both of these aspects are more interesting. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I mean, like I don't play run and gun kind of games. Like, I actually think it's probably going to be pretty frustrating, especially my friend is not a video gamer at all. But like, it's so beautiful. It's like just thinking about how much work that the sprite work and everything just went into that. It's just like mind-boggling. I did find that interesting where like yeah, like the other thing that really gets me is, you know, for Toho games, like all of these bullet hell things, like it looks amazing and like there's like flower patterns everywhere, but when you're actually playing the game, all you're really focused on is your tiny little character, like, and specifically like the little point that's in the center. And like you're actually supposed to just like narrow-mindedly focus on that little character and actually not get distracted by all the flowers and everything. Yeah, I didn't think about that aspect of like playing Cuphead. Yeah. So Doc, what's your favorite game, I guess, for you know, you mentioned Amnesia, but like, what other games do you think convey theme and tone, and as well as gameplay? I've played some of Bastion. I would probably be starting a new game file when I streamed it here, but I don't know. I think it's not quite what you're saying in terms of like Amnesia mixing it up, but it is doing like a better job of it. Interesting. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I think it's partly because, like, you know, especially for AAA games, right? Like, the thing that they can sell you on is that, like, oh, it's got graphics. Open world has also kind of been that way, too, about, like, oh, you can, like, go everywhere, you know. Yeah, but, like, yeah. Dark Souls is an interesting case. Yeah. I mean, I don't actually know the story of Dark Souls, though. This is me, like, never played the game, but, like, yeah, like, I know is that, like, you're, like, a dead dude, and you, like, save at fireplaces, and you're, like, trying to go somewhere. I mean, I think roguelikes in general, or, like, games with permadeath, do sort of have the story be influenced by gameplay just because you're so invested about, like, the permanent death. But I don't know Dark Souls' story that well. Maybe you can tell me more about, like, how they get influenced with each other. It's cool. Where was I on this? Oh yeah, it's the freaking saves. Right, so the problem is that at here, it stays at the same place. But there are 2 sleeps right off the bat. Okay, well, I'm out of space, and I shouldn't be doing... just like... Probably the problem is like outsourcing what the value is. Like, it should be really in here. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna save a copy of this because this is pretty close. A working copy. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna copy this. Huh. Huh. That's actually pretty cool. Now I'm trying to think about other games that, like, explain the respawning thing. Like, the only one that comes to mind right now is, like, the League of Legends lore, where, like, they're not actually fighting, they're actually just being summoned, to, like, to the, Field of Champions or something? I don't... Field of Legends? Something like that, but, like, that they're, like, just, like, entities who are, like, being spawned to fight in this. Or, like, TF2, where it turns out there's, like, a million clones of all of the characters. That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was like a reason for respawning thing. That's interesting. I think Infinity Blade sort of does this too, right? About, like, you're, like, each generation is carrying on the curse of the next one. So even though you look like the same dude, like, actually you're just sort of doomed to repeat in it. Borderlands? What's the Borderlands one? there was an interesting paper I read, where this guy was playing Fallout, and his character went to an area that he was underleveled for and got immediately killed. But the problem is that like when he stepped into this area, the game auto-saved, but he couldn't make it out in time. You just buy a copy of yourself. That's funny. So the game had auto-saved when he went into this new area, so he was like permanently stuck in this area for like a death loop, and then he like wrote this whole paper about it, of just like what does it mean to be like caught in this death loop and like infinite. I'm not doing this paper justice, but it was like very interesting of like celebrating the glitch of this death loop, which kind of goes beyond the like explicit rules or narrative of the game. So I thought it was interesting. Oh man. Yeah, so I actually played Shenzhen Solitaire like in real life, and I was actually like super annoyed that like the auto feature of like when like if I move this card up, like these cards go up, like I was having to like manually like move cards back and forth. That's interesting that you even think of immersion for stuff like freaking Solitaire, man. That's interesting. What, does it break your immersion when you win in the windows and the cards go like bouncing down? That's funny. Ah, frick. What's this? I do like this thing about having it move over. Oh, I should just slicks. That's how I do it. I have it wait. Like move P1 to X0. Or something. So okay, so I move P1 to X0, and then so I select X3, I move X3 to null. I actually don't need to do this like slicks business. No, I do need to do that, yeah. I don't need to do it for here though? No, I do need to do it. So move X3 to no. I don't think this is gonna work. Okay, so I get 2, move X0 to that, move 100. Compare, jump to loop. Okay, then that seems obvious, and get rid of this. Okay. Oh, I've heard of the beginner's guide. I'll write that down. I think I ignored it because I hadn't played Stanley Parable yet. Okay. I mean, I'm also going into Stanley Parable blind because it's like, I just know it's like funny meta crap. But yeah, I think I ignored beginner's guide because I hadn't played Stanley Parable yet. Okay, where am I on this? I think it's why do I have a sleep 1 and a slick 0? That's the question. Oh geez, that's not correct. Well, it's doing these parts correct. So move X0 to that. Move X100 X. x0 to p1, moving p1 to x0, adding 1. Okay. Means I'm ready. Oh, it's the same problem of not having the it's not sleeping. That's that problem. Okay. Well, I mean, Tetris is completely like that's like completely ludology, and actually to the point where somebody was making a joke about like, oh, like they compared ludology to Tetris studies. If they can stand alone on it. Let me read this a little bit more. Immersion, if immersion really is necessary. But I mean, I think like Mario totally stands on its own, right? Especially if you look at like Super Mario Bros. I would argue that that's like, you know, a game that is sort of purely gameplay, like just because it has figures and stuff like that. It could be yeah, I've played Undertale. It could just have easily been, right, like just a bunch of like enemies and stuff like that. I mean, we add narrative in there because like we are narrative creatures and like we want it. I guess I'm not really sure what point you're trying to make, I guess. Ah, man. Dude, I love Tetris. I should stream. The problem is if I stream Tetris, I don't really know what I would say about it, right? Like, yeah. Undertale's pretty great, yeah. Oh, man. It's pretty unfortunate, though, that, like, you know, there's this level of fandom when, like, oh man, this thing is cool, and then, like, the middle schoolers get a hold of it, and it's, like, accessible enough for them to be like, man, this is really cool, and then they're, like, the fandom, like, grinds to a halt, and you're just like, I can't. Man, I read Homestuck. Oh, that fandom sucks. Man, like, I'm not saying that, like, all Homestuck fans suck, I'm just saying that, like, oh boy, the Homestuck fandom in its height was just, like, bad, and I was just like, I feel bad, but I like this comic, and then the ending sucks, so whatever. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what point you're trying to make with the, like, immersion comment. Like, yeah, it's definitely interesting. Man. Toby Fox is cool. It's definitely an interesting character. Oh, what is wrong with this? Moving on 100 and... Oh, did I just fix it? No. That's why I had that sleep one in there. But then it misses... Freaking... Ah! Okay, screw this. Aquaponics. Man, maybe I should just stream freaking Tetris. I'm not really... This conversation's too interesting. Oh, man. I'll just play Shenzhen Solitaire the entire time, clearly. Whatever. I can still do coding. Let's see what this robot kill switch is up to. Alright, got radio. I don't really know anything about Berserk other than, like, the art is interesting. It's like that very, like, heavy line drawing style. And two, what was the other thing? They got off a boat, and people were really excited about them getting off a boat. And I, like, had no context for this, but that's all I know about Berserk. I think it was Berserk where they got off a boat. Anyways. Yeah, his music's great. I mean, like, you see this middle school thing, like, happen, like, it happened with Homestuck, it happened with, Five Nights at Freddy's. Minecraft is just, like, permanently stuck in the middle school phase now. I don't know. I think one thing interesting about the internet now is that, like, the experience you have of, like, I'm in middle school and I don't really feel like I fit in and belong, like, communities, like, they were on the boat for 9 years. amazing. Oh my god. One of my friends is a Kingdom Hearts fan, and like when the Kingdom Hearts 3 came out on the frickin' E3 2015, I think, she was like, "Oh my god, I don't even want to think about how long I've been waiting for this, and the dumb game is still not released." So every time like frickin' like Kingdom Hearts 2.965 or whatever comes out, is just like, hey, how are you feeling about this? He's just like, I'm dying. Alright. So, alright. There's outputs, so then when we get a data packet, we read it, and we do something. Turn all power on. Read another value and turn off that output. Huh, okay. Okay, so I guess I can do the first part, which is that, this is actually a pretty interesting problem. Remote kill switch. Oh man. When they got on the boat, George W. Bush was the president of the United States. God. Yeah, that's an analogy. Oh man. I don't know, like it makes you feel bad for like liking something that's like has a questionable fandom, because like, you know, like I'm gonna get lumped in this, and if I tell people I like this, then I'm gonna get lumped in here. But then you're like, oh, but it's good, I can't, like, oh jeez. Like my friend who's the Kingdom Hearts fangirl is definitely just like, I know it's a crappy series, but I like it. At least that one's been dead. The friggin' release updates have been dead for so long that the fandom can't get yikesy. Oh man. Alright, so this one can be like, jeez, this one's hard. I have to turn everything off, and then... Okay. So, well, I received something. Got that part down. So, obviously the accumulator... The, like, accumulator is going to be, not receive. So if this is greater than... What is this? x0. x0 is greater than -1. If it is, if it's not, then we, add 1. If it is, move ACC to 0. Move 0 to ACC, sorry, rather. Yeah, but you didn't have to wait 9 years for him to get off the boat. Oh, I'm cracking up about that, man. That's hilarious. Oh man, so minus add 1. We have, if this is accumulators equal to 5. Move 0 to like x1 or like -5, something like that. Abandoned plot lines. Man, I'm into the books for Game of Thrones. So like I've been reading all the spoilers for the TV show, cuz like at this point it's just so different. I also think it's interesting that like Game of Thrones is kind of like the last water cooler show. What I mean by that, like it's a show that like everybody expects you to watch, and then like there's like active discussion and everything about it. Because like now that the like the things that people watch is so fractured, is that like now that things are so fractured, it's really hard to say like there's gonna be one thing that people people like watch for sure, and that Game of Thrones happens to be on it, even though it's on like a premium cable show, and stuff like that. What I'm getting out of this doc is that you have a lot of patience. That's what I'm getting out of this. Move 0 to ACC. Do nothing if it's -1. Oh, I guess I need to make this like negative freaking like 2 now. So now I have like a... Oh, I guess I should save it in dat. Because I actually care what value x2 is. Okay, so move x0 to ACC. Test if the ACC is greater than -2. There we go. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting, not only is it long-form television, but it's binge-watching, you know? Like, people wait for seasons to come out so they can just watch it all in one sitting, to the point where even Netflix is like, oh, you know, let's just actually just release it in a binge, because we know that people aren't gonna watch it anyways, you know? Move 0 to dat. Okay, so now we have dat is gonna be... Dat is, how long nothing. Where's... 0. Right. Okay, and I'll move accumulator to x2. So now I got this dude. Boy howdy. It's true. Even the creation of House of Cards was really interesting. They did like, since at that point Netflix had been like streaming a whole bunch of stuff, they were like, we think that the market would be interested in like a political thriller featuring this director and like Kevin Spacey, and then they made it, and then it was really popular. At least I've heard that story. I'm not sure how true it is, but let's see. So I'm gonna move. Alright, so let's add some slick 0. Slick 0. Okay. Do some... slip it. I don't know. I don't know actually. I do know that for Breaking Bad though, I read an article at least that people are saying like it's super critically acclaimed and like people are watching it, but like the actual view numbers of like people who were watching it at the time were very low. It was like a very small portion of like the TV watching audience. So, I don't actually know when they started picking up steam. That would be an interesting thing to like go to, I don't know why I turned this lamp on, to go to Wikipedia and check out. Yeah. So T-compare. Oh, I want to move X0 to the accumulator, and I'll compare to, what is this, 0? Okay, so if it's less than that, then... Oh, but I have to check the, like, a special case where we just turn everything off. God dang it, I'll just... Oh, it's not efficient. Shows like that just need to reach a critical mass sort of deal. Interesting. I don't know, at least when I worked at, when I was working at, like, summer job 4 years ago, everybody was just talking about Game of Thrones, and at that point I was reading the books, because there was so much hype about it, and, like, I got a bunch of spoilers, just because, like, you know, that's how it goes. Yeah, interesting. I guess that is true. It's because I guess, like, what, we just finished season 7 and then 4 years ago. Oh, that's season 3. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree at this point. Like, yeah, that's a snowball kind of deal. That's interesting. I didn't think about momentum for, like, why the TV shows keep going. I think the superhero TV shows being less popular than superheroes the movie is actually it's interesting, right? Because, like, comics have this sort of serial form where you're, like, really invested in the lore and stuff like that, and I think the superhero shows try to explore more of that lore aspect than, say, the movies do. For me personally, I find superhero movies really hard to get into because like, even, like, watching Iron Man 3, like, you're expecting me to, like, remember what happened in Iron Man 1 and 2? Dude, I just want to see, like, man in a robot suit beat up stuff. But, like, or like the Captain America Civil War thing, right? Like, people expect you to, like, remember all of these friendships and relationships. I think that's interesting. I don't know. Not being a big superhero fan in, like, either the shows or movies, I don't really have much to say about that. Okay, let's see. T equals accumulator -1. So if it is, then just, like, jump to end. If it's not, or... Oh, read another value and turn off that output. This is a hard one. I'm gonna skip this one. Oh my god. Oracle Master? Jeez. It's my Iching unit. Is this just one big port? That's interesting. Dude, yeah, like, man... Oh man, jeez, I don't... There's a lot of... Some things get rebooted so often. Well, I mean, like, that's why everything's an origin story nowadays, right? It's because they're all self-contained that way. It's like, oh look, you can, like, see how this guy goes and becomes a dude, and we're totally gonna use him in all these other things. Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty self-contained. Big sword swish swish! Wait, oh my god, like, there's so much fanfiction out there for, like, Captain America stuff. And it's just like, oh my god. At least on the Tumblr verse, right? With all, like, the slash or whatever. So, like, there's a ton of fanfiction about Captain America. And I'm like, I don't know who these characters are. Big sword swish swish. Oh, man. No, but I think that. Oh, let's see what this picture is. I don't understand this meme. Oh, that's fair. I didn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and I was like, this is a rompin' good fic for like freaking like I just want my snarky jokes and my ooga chaka, you know? I mean, I think it's funny just because I think like serial comics are probably like the most infamous for having whatchamacallit, like lore stuff, right? Like see issue 172 for blah blah blah. Like, you know. Anyways. Button and Oracle are simple inputs connected to a mems. Display is a oh, okay, that's cute. When the button is pushed, okay, that button, the Oracle engine will generate 6 values. Oh, interesting. Will generate 6 values corresponding to the lines. Oh, geez, I need to read the datasheet for this. Control Shift 1. Okay. Oh, that's funny. I was just talking about Bionicle lore with one of my friends. Oh no, oops. Yeah, I was actually just talking about Bionicle lore with one of my friends, and they were like also very surprised to learn that it has a huge amount of lore. This part's I Ching. I unfortunately don't have 3 monitors, so I can't see what the chat's going on right now as I'm looking up my I Ching. Built-in piezoelectric generator converts mechanical to electrical. Blah blah blah. Okay. Stream of 6 digital values. Oh my god. Start with lower. So 100. Alright. 100 equals solid, 0 equals broken. Precision filled stocks. Okay. NC on left, and what's it? Oracle on bot. Okay. Cool. Alright. It's just plastic event. Long-running, fleshed-out Ultron. I also cannot believe that there's Hot Wheels lore. Is there actually freaking Hot Wheels lore? No. Now you're just what's the term? Freaking gaslighting, man. There's no way. Oh my god. I mean, I read an article about how they're trying to make a freaking Fruit Ninja movie. This was released right when like all the Emoji Movie hate was coming out. It's a New York Times article. Let me try to find it. Here we go. Where's that chat? Alright, so... Oh, so then I should be able to see here. Oracle's an input? What? Oh, input into this system. Oh, gross, it's timing. Wait, this is actually like a pretty solid, like... This is actually a pretty solid EE problem, right? It's like, it's not just like, oh, you have some random output. Like, no, it's like, you need to figure out the timing of this, and then, like, the timing of this is going to matter. God dang. Oh, man. Okay. What are these? Are these ports? Pin type mismatch. Gross. Gross. Oh, these are both peas? Gross. Oh my god. Are we really debating this? Oh, that's a, I'm pretty sure that's a meme. I saw like some fake trailers for it. Yeah. Let's see if these ones have to be ports too. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. Alright. Oh, come on! I have to do a freaking port for each of these. Alright, this multiplexer is getting used. Cause that's gross. Oh, maybe I should have used one of these earlier. Gross, 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 gross. Like, you can just get a ball bearing and like a 3D printed. You can just 3D print something with a ball bearing. Like, you can freaking go to Shapeways if you don't have a 3D printer. Oh, there's definitely like a Shapeways model for fidget spinners. I'm not even gonna look it up. I like definitely know this already exists. Grumble. I even think I can figure out what the freaking Rule 34 fidget spinner thing looks like. God. I guess you can think of Hollywood as doing like Rule 34 for intellectual property, I guess. Or like whatever an equivalent rule set would be. Alright, so something like this. Heh, ass fetishes. Butt plug. Every single fandom sucks. I mean, that's more of just like, right? Like, I mean, if you just generalize the thing about like, it's popular, now it sucks, right? Like, what was it? Like, other people are hell? That's a thing. Alright, so if P1 is 0, why can't I have this be outside this freaking box? Okay. So once P1 is 0, I guess we want to do this as like... If it doesn't jump to end. Let's get this loop going. I'm pretty sure the Rick and Morty copy pasta is a troll, and I don't know why people are actually thinking it's legit. Just like, I think it's Poe's Law in action. Yeah. Let's see, so, jump loop. Okay, so what am I trying to do? P1's greater than 0, then we can do stuff. If not, move, what is this? P0 to X0. Oh shoot. I need to have an account. I need to have an account. I mean, that's what Poe's Law means, right? Right, so. I think Poe's Law is that, like, you know, like it's impossible to tell when something is like satire or real. Yeah. I didn't actually know that the Rick and Morty fan base was that cancerous until like the copy pasta showed up, so that was interesting. So let's add 1, and then if I need to check if it's equal to 6. And if it's not, then check loop. Okay, I guess I can have this one be like a fairy source then. Just because splitting it between the 1s and 3s is a little too hard right now. Oh no, I can have one of these things and I can have it connect like that. That's cool. Oh, I can get rid of this guy and just move this to x1. So, okay, let's try that. To be fair, atheism subreddit is always really bad. Like, well, atheists in general, like, more bad fandoms, I feel like. Right? It's like that. It's like the classic phase of like you're in you're a middle schooler and you discover like Nietzsche and nihilism and you think you're like very edgy. Like I was talking about this thought earlier, but I think it's sort of interesting about like how these how the internet has really allowed people who feel like they're like weird or like don't quite belong to really congregate in mass. You know, like. That people are like, oh, I'm not alone because like high school, like school in general just sucks for everyone. And then, but then like you get a community of these people who like feel very alone and very isolated. And then like you get these things about like the fandom in mass about like, you know, Minecraft or Undertale or whatever. I think there's something there. I'm not particularly interested in finding out what's there though, but let's just see if this works. Oh yeah, so, okay. Like, let's just move x0 to null and then sleep 1. Or like I have to do like... No, there's a secular society at my school. Which I think is pretty reasonable. Especially like if you come from a very religious background, having a place where you can like talk about like yeah, like there's a secular society and like, you know, just talking about skepticism and stuff like that. Like it can be done well, like, but you know, there's also just like denying religion just because like your parents are very into it. Yeah. Let's see. So okay, so like 0. So I should also have a count here. So add 1. So I want to check if it's greater than x is greater than 3 or 4, I guess technically, because we start at 0, and if it's not, move x0 to. Oh no! Shoot! In order to use the multiplexers, I have to write that dumb thing. God dang it, man! Once you pass tutorial mode, all of these questions become hard. Why am I even saving this? Ugh. Move x0 to accumulator. There's this thing about only moving 1 digit, if I remember correctly. Let's see, let's turn this on and look at it. where's that data sheet? I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to look at the single digit stuff. It's like DGT, I think. Oh, reference card. Thank you. This is the least helpful reference cards. Language reference. Okay, dset and dget. Okay, that's a useful thing to have on this note card. R1 to R2 and dget equals isolate. Okay. So if I can make it a 1 out here, what's it like? Dget. Oh shoot. Gotta look at the data sheet again. 0 is the 0's place, is the 1's place, okay. 0 equals 1's place. Okay, so I need to dget P1. Oh no, I need to mov P1 to accumulator. And then I need to dget 2. Mov accumulator to, oh no, this should be P0. Need the mov accumulator into x1, add 1. Oh shoot. I need to make this bigger. Okay, get rid of this. Add this into here. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I need to move P0 into the accumulator. I get the second value. I add 1 to... Oh, there's no swap command. Shoot. Right, like there was that swap thing in friggin' TIS 100. Bring out friggin' memory stores. Cause I want, what do I want to do? So I want to. The problem is that the dget commands and dget and add are both only on accumulator. Oh, okay, actually, well, I mean, it's just more annoying. Well, I have the extra space, I guess, and this thing isn't really doing very much, so. Okay, so dget to 2, and then I move the accumulator onto x1. Out to x3, actually. Okay. Cool. And then mov dat to accumulator, add 1, mov accumulator, if it's equal to 6, so I want to sleep 1 regardless, or check if the accumulator is equal to 6, which it won't because it'll be whatever value it is. Okay. Oh shoot, no, that doesn't quite work. Maybe test if for an accumulator. I should not optimize the sleep command for now. I should just get this working. If it's not, then we just jump to loop. And if it's also not, then we just move accumulator into that. Right. Well, thanks. Okay. So, okay, just stepping through. Okay, gets the 1. At least it's moving, I guess. Oh, I'm not. Okay. Oh, it's not doing anything with accumulator 1, that's why. Oh, okay. Okay, that's why. So, because I hadn't really written this one out. But it is doing something. Alright, screw you, memory. I'm gonna do everything with my goddamn 2 registers. Okay, so I'm sleeping in x1. Okay, so now I'm just moving like 1. Yeah, okay. So the reason I did this was so that I could not move 1 into x1 accumulator, but I want to deset x1 to dat. How does deset work again? Let's look at this data sheet. Deset equal set accumulator. Okay. Set accumulators R1 equal to R2. God, these are grumble freaking. Okay. Let's look at this. So, setting accumulators R1 equal to R2. So, I'm going to. Oh, what am I doing here? So, I'm setting the accumulator's value to whatever x1 came out to be. So, I should have like dat. Oh, gross. Move dat to ACC, add 1. Oh no, I can't. Okay, I guess I do need to use this memory bank, and alright, I'm almost running out of time, and I don't think I'm. So I want to do need to compose a value to send out to mux or multiplex. Also need Track iteration. Alright. So that one's that. I mean, I'm not too worried that, like, these are getting trickier, because, like, I don't know, that's part of it, right? It's, like, just trying to figure out. Maybe I should play a different game. I don't know, this is what I'm thinking of. It's just kind of like, I just do, like, this engineering things, and it's sort of hard to follow. But, like, there's good chats out of it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think, like, what kind of games are better to stream? I think it's interesting. I don't know. One of my friends was telling me, it's like, oh, all games are, like, good games to stream, but I don't think that's true. But then again, this gets me every time. People watch streams of idle games. Like, you can go right now on Twitch and look for adventure capitalist streams, which is just like, why are you watching people not playing a game? But, like, you can already not play that game yourself. Yeah, it exists. It exists. You can watch streams of adventure capitalist, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Polybridge? That's the one where you build bridges. Right? Yeah, gotcha. Yo, if you want me to stream something else, I can stream something else. I've got some games. Well, like, I don't know. Like, like, the last time I checked, there were, like, 2 people streaming Shenzhen IO. I mean, they're, like, Shenzhen IO Let's Players, too, right? Like, I don't know, maybe this game is a little bit better on video editing or whatever. You watch the stream for the person. Aw, thanks, guys. Even when that person is just going, like, blah blah blah, engineering, blah blah. God dang. Whatever. Weight is an input connected to an electromechanical scale. Button is a button. Display is an LCD screen. The scale is off, but can be turned on by pressing the button. Just connected straight to here. That's as far as I'm concerned. There's the updated with the measured weight. And the weight... Oh, it's got a tear. I'm not... I'm not... my brain is... Well, I'm talking about brains being fried. I've got 10 minutes left in stream, so... I'm just playing some Shenzhen... Solitaire. Yeah, whatchamacallit, Extra Tricky had the world record for, like, Pokemon Red a couple of times, and he's still not, like, super famous for stream. I mean, like, that's why there's, like, people like, okay, maybe this is a bad example. I don't understand why people like Game Grumps, because I don't find their humor very good, right? Like, but it's definitely just because, like, when the loud outbursts come out, people are, like, super excited. Fa fa fa. Jong jong jong. Bye bye. Well, there's. I'm just gonna move stuff around. That's all. Like, that's what I always do. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna plot out this, like, great path to victory, and then I, like, stare at it for a while, and then I'm like, I'm gonna move cards around because I feel like moving cards around. There's a red one here. There's a Faz here. I mean, I don't know. I think my friend Extra Tricky would watch other streams definitely for, like, the skills involved. I don't know. I mean, like, part of the reason I'm also, like, I don't know if you could tell, but, like, I'm pretty academic in terms of my interests, and, like, the reason I am streaming partly in the first place is because, one, I've gone to China, and, like, I think capturing my reactions about, whatchamacallit, Shenzhen, like, encountering things that, like, I came up with when I saw in my travels. I thought that would be interesting. And, like, 2, I was interested in, like, finding out more about streaming culture and, like, what better way to do it than just do it yourself. The thing I'm mostly surprised about is how much, like, a radio show it is. Like, nobody told me about that. There's a lot of people who are pretty lonely in the subreddit for Twitch, being like, I'm just talking to myself, and this is miserable, but I don't know, I have too much to talk about. Pandering and lowest common denominator. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I think is interesting is that for Twitch chats is like why the emojis become so important is because when the wall of text is going that fast, like that's the only thing you could focus on is just like image, you know? Like, and then also like the hive mind aspect, if a lot of people are just spamming the same image, that's like the only way that you can get a message out to like a streamer. Super interesting. Okay. I mean, that's why I also find it interesting is that, like, I think a lot of the people who are complaining on, like, the subreddit for, like, you know, it's not super interesting, or, like, I'm just talking to myself help. They're, like, trying to think about, like, I want to stream because I want to be famous. And not because, like, I want to stream because I just want to play some video games. That's why I'm streaming, right? Like, I have a huge backlog of video games and I need to get it through. And, like, what better way to do that than, like, you know, provide some entertainment to other people from literally around the world, you know? Like, I think it's super cool that you guys are from, like, Sweden and Denmark and stuff like that. And I'm here in, like, Boston and doing my own thing, so. I guess I think I'm also lucky in that, like, I was really able to leverage Jeopardy fame to get more people, like, oh, yep, that's Polybridge, alright. Oh my god. Nailed it. Oh boy. But yeah, I think I am pretty lucky of, like, able to use my Jeopardy fame and getting subscribers. Cause, like, apparently it's a trope. This is completely just judging from the, subreddit, where it's like, you know, people will be hosting a stream and then suddenly like somebody will come on and then they're like so desperate for people to watch them that they'll be like, oh my god, let me talk to you, and scares them off. But like, I don't know, I think that was an interesting trope. Oh man, I'm gonna move cards around. That's what I do. Just move cards around because it feels good. There's a whole bunch of crap in here. At least if I do this, then I can get those out. That's cool. Juju, hope you did the hurricane okay. I didn't realize it, and then I was like looking at one of my friend's Reddit accounts, and then she posted like, you know, escaped from Irma, and I was like, oh geez, like I'm from Atlanta originally, so I thought about like my parents, but I didn't think about like all my friends in other places. So I hope you did the hurricane. Dude, man, like whatever, man. It's more than 2. It's like 250% better than 2. Especially from me getting like goddamn internet famous again for cringy stuff I had no control over. Let's see. Here's a bunch of bygones. What's behind there? Oh, nice. Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, that's... Look, I really like this. I do look forward to doing the streams. Like, when my computer was broken, I was actually kind of sad. I was like, no, I'm disappointing my fan base. Like, all the 2 people. Shut up! Not Figwent? That guy? I don't know who that guy is. I am collating and aggregating the cards. In fact, the computer is automatically having them collate and aggregate for me. This stack right here, this stack sucks, man. It's like I don't really know. I can't really clear out anything because like freaking everything is stacked in here and I've run out of spaces. Where's that one? That one's there. No, it's not freaking whatever. Okay. Or no, maybe I can salvage it. Aha! Watch me move cards around. I'm just gonna keep moving stuff because it feels good. Okay. Start streaming something that'll attract the Jeopardy viewers. Yikes. I mean, like, I guess I could. So I was wondering about this. I was planning to read up on whatchamacallit's copyright laws. Oh, I'm done actually. If I can get that one out, that's dumb 3. Freaking. How much of this can I do? I mean, it will require me to get a whole pile out, which I think is impossible. Okay, that's good. There was a tree that fell in my folks' home's backyard, which was pretty scary, but everybody was okay, so. Okay, sweet, so this works. And then I can clear out this, and I think I've won. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could do that presentation again, although it's just sort of archived. Doc, you missed this, but I gave a presentation about my mimetic nanofame, which I can link to in the stream. Blah. But yeah, I gave this presentation to a bunch of middle schoolers for a class program, which is, let me see. Where is it? Here. So link to it. There's that chat. I'm glad you liked it. And then there is video about me presenting it to Can I? Here. Oh, that's funny. It's an interesting script. If I still lose, I'm gonna be... Oh no. Okay, I win.